This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Welcome everyone. We continue in the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh. We're up to Ois Kuf Zayin. Al Tihi Kapdan Ledavar Muat. Do not be Makpid. Do not be exacting over a small matter. Neged Shem Adam, against anyone. Pentalaket Soinim Alchinam, lest you gather enemies for nothing. We had in Ois Kuf Beis, do not slacken off acquiring a very good friend. We had in Ois Tzadi, don't slacken off acquiring many friends. Don't try to acquire friends with a smooth, glib tongue. Do not oppress any nachri, because you're going to gather an enemy. Don't associate with a bad friend. So this is all about the guidelines of friendship. And now the Rosh is saying, don't be makpid about a small matter against anybody, because you might gather friends for nothing. Now, is kapdonos be'etzem something bad? Lav dafka. We find Shammai was a kapdan, but we don't paskin like Shammai. We paskin like Hillel. In fact, Rabbi Yisrael Salanter famously would say, the Gemara says, in the end of Tainus, that Eliezer got up to daven for the Amud and he wasn't answered. Rabbi Kiva got up to daven and he was immediately answered. And they started murmuring about Rabbi Eliezer. And it was said, no, it's not. Bas Kol said, it's not because Rabbi Eliezer is greater than Rabbi Akiva. It's because Rabbi Akiva is maver on his midos and Rabbi Eliezer was a kapdan. So the question is, well then obviously Rabbi Akiva was greater than Rabbi Eliezer. And Rabbi Yisrael Salanter explained, no. Rabbi Eliezer was a shamuti, he was a student of Shammai, and he held you can't overlook, and you have to stand up for kavarat Torah, and Hillel had a different shita. We happen to paskin like Hillel. But even though we paskin like Hillel, nevertheless, even though we paskin like him, it doesn't mean that's better, that just means that's more halachically acceptable. And the Chafetz Chaim even writes in Ber Maim Chaim Klal Daud Oislam et Zayin, says Rav Goldberg, to say someone is a kapdan is not lashon hara. But the Rosh is talking about being a kapdan, being makpid over triviality. And one should not do so. First of all, it's not correct. You should be mavater, you should overlook. But more importantly, the Rosh is saying, is because you're going to be garnering enemies. If you are makpid over a big thing, then people will understand why you're being makpid. But when you're makpid on davar muat, the second guy is not going to understand why you're makpid. He's going to think you're makpid for nothing, and he's going to come to hate you. Interestingly, Rav Goldberg brings a story that's brought in the Sefer Mishmar Halevi about on Parshas Vayera on the name of Rabbi Cheskel Abramsky. At the end of Masechta Yevamos, it brings V'chol banayach limudei Hashem v'rav shalom banayach al tikri banayach ela banayach. And we think, what does it mean that Talmidei Chacham amar b'shalom ba'olam? Oh, they go around from house to house. Oh, you're in a fight with Pliny, make up with him. You're in a fight with Almoni, make up with him. No. That is not the real meaning of being mar b'shalom. Being mar b'shalom is, what is shalom? It's the opposite of being makpid. It's the opposite of anger. And usually people are makpid or angry when they're not satisfied with their lot, when they're upset in general. And they're murmuring and they're just not enjoying life. So then he's makpid on any little thing against his will. And he engenders fear around all those around him. But a Talmid Chacham is full of gratitude. A Talmid Chacham is full of well-being and satisfaction and nachas ruach and happiness from his spiritual ambition and accomplishments. It would be like someone who won the lottery or became a millionaire. So he would not be makpid on a small thing because he's just so happy. So Talmidei Chachamim, people who are Torah sages, and they're they have so much under their belt, they're so satisfied and happy and content, they're marbeh shalom ba'olam. They increase happiness in this world because they're not upset, they're not angry, they don't get into strife and quarrels with other people. Okay, let's do Ois Kufches. Al tehi lahot ladas hasesarim shmeinad machaveroi. Do not run after knowing secrets between man and his friend. V'davar hamechusam imchan, something that's covered. Don't be a yenta. Oh, what's this guy up to? What's this all about? What's happening over here? Vas titzach. Don't run after knowing secrets. And Rav Goldberg explains this is not modest. And it could come to many averos. Don't even have the cheshek or the ratzon to know these things. What is the Rosh adding? Don't run to know secrets or something that's mechusa. What's davar ha-mechusa? It's something else. It's not good to be so curious to know things that you don't see at first glance. Meaning, don't use your curiosity to find out people's business. The tachlis of a person is to learn Torah, is to serve Hashem, but just to know, like, the secret business. And Reb Chaim Kanievsky quotes the Sefer Hasidim, Simin Tav Shin Zayin. Don't run after chidushim and the news, and because they just take a person away from learning Torah. Another commentary on the Orchos Chaim of the Rosh brings that if somebody tells you something, or I'm sorry, if somebody tells someone else something, they didn't tell you, and it's hidden from you, don't say, well, if he told someone else, that person could probably tell me, why not? In other words, don't run after trying to discover things that are hidden specifically from you. In any event, that's Sif Katan Kovches, Ois Kovches. Don't run after knowing secret matters. Okay, everyone, thank you for joining today. Wishing you all bracha v'hatzlacha. Have a wonderful day. Kol tov.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.